Hi, my name is Sue. I'm from the Moboses Media Library, and I'm here today to show our region's global history teachers a particular fabulous digital resource that we subscribe to on behalf of you and your students and those across the region. In this time of emergency online instruction, you may find this especially helpful, but we certainly encourage people to use these all year round. I am starting on what we call our toolkit, and it can be accessed at the URL moboses.libguides.com/toolkit and /social studies. So I am on the social studies tab of this toolkit. And the purpose of this toolkit is really to make visible by subject area to our region's teachers the great resources that we have available to you that you may not be aware of. Now, today I'm going to focus in this webinar on world history and context. Obviously, it's a database focused particularly on global studies, on world history. It's appropriate for grades 7 through 12. High quality, curated content from a variety of resources that I think you'll be really excited about. We're also going to be posting an ABC Clio Daily Life Through History, which also has tremendous resources for global studies. And we would also encourage you to take a look at our video streaming, a quick tutorial that we've already created. There's a lot of great social studies content in our video streaming interface, including from Learn 360, and also CCC. So I think you may be surprised if you've never actually gone in and done that before. You may be surprised by what we have. And it's fully integratable with Google Classroom. So these resources are really high quality, easy to use, and we hope that you'll start to experiment with them if you haven't already. To begin, any of you can get into these databases through your school library website or interface. I would encourage you to check with your school librarians. They are your resident experts as to how to get in and also support specifically in using these databases and these products. But we've also added the access links here under this access links tabs to any of the districts who have access to these things. In this case, it's all of our districts. And this just is another way for you to get in, to make it easy to get in, particularly when I'm doing a regional training like this. So I'm going to just sort of randomly click on one of these. We'll go with VVS. And what you'll see here is what we call our 24/7 access page. And this page will look pretty much the same for you, regardless of which school building that you're in. It's organized initially by, what you're looking for by these topic areas. To make our life easier, we can uncheck them all and then just select history and geography. So world history and context is what we're going to jump into now. And when I click this link, it's going to take me to a page where the username is pre-populated, but the password is not. Now, the passwords I also sent in the email, so you should have your building password, but I invite you right now to please take note and write down your username for your building, because there may be times when students click a link for an article that you shared or something like that, that they're going to need to know your building's username and password. And so if you just have that on hand to post in their class assignment or whatever, it'll make life a lot easier. So I'm going to enter the password, and then I will be put right into this database. Now, we subscribe in this region to several different GALE databases, and they're all structured in pretty much the same way. So once you learn to use one of them, you'll sort of have a sense of how to use all of them, which is really great. So one of the most distinguishing features of the GALE and Context databases are the topic pages that are available in all of them. we can get to those topics either through this button here or by scrolling further down the page. We can see that they've organized these topics into categories. So if I were to click on one of these categories, it would make visible all of the items, in this case 106 biographies in the category. Here we're going to go to all 381 topics to give you a sense of the breadth and depth of this collection for global studies and social studies in general. So if we click on one of these topics, we're going to be brought to a topic page that's going to look much the same as all of the other topic pages structurally in this collection and in the other GALE and context databases. We usually see an overview at the beginning, then we see the types of formats that the materials are available in, as well as the number of each of those in each of those categories. And these include reference, which are great for building general background knowledge, and also might be similar to what would typically be available in your textbook. We also see that there's usually some kind of primary sources, and in global history in particular, we know sometimes it's really hard to find primary sources. So even for those more older topics, the ones that happened many, many years before, we still find a really nice selection of primary sources, even if it's just one or two sometimes for those ancient history topics. So if we scroll down the page, we can see the top 3 hits usually in each of these categories. And then if we were to click on one of these categories, the additional things in that category would become visible to us. So here we can see all 9 of the videos in this category. I'm going to go back and click on a more typical page, which is something that's more like an article. We'll go to the reference category, which obviously has 343 items in it. And if we clicked on one of these items, we're going to see more of these features that are available to our students as they work their way through these texts. So we have the ability to translate to a variety of languages. We can change the font size. We can click on this listen button and the machine will read this aloud to us. Not ideal, but not bad for a machine. The students could also save directly to their Google Drive, which is really helpful if you've assigned them, asked them to select an article or read an article, or their Microsoft Cloud. You can send it via email. You can also download this as a PDF. We can also see, as we did in the list view, that there is a Lexile measure typically noted, which is also affiliated with a content level. So there's a lot here, but the most interesting thing possibly for you is the easy ability to share to our Google Drive or our Google Classroom, sorry. We simply select our class, choose what it's going to be, and then create the assignment. Now, for these GALE and context databases, when the student clicks on the article link that you've embedded in your Google Classroom, they'll actually be automatically authenticated and they won't have to hit a login wall or anything to get to that article. They'll just be passed right through to it. But for some of the other databases in our collection, for instance, ABC Clio, Daily Life Through History, you will need to include the username and password. So it's just good to get into the habit as you do the instructions of putting your username and password in there or making it somehow visible to the students so they know when they hit that wall what to do. It's not going to cause them any challenges or to abandon the assignment. So I guess they want a title. I won't go through with that right now. So anyway, this is the general idea behind this database. Not only can you share at the page level, but you can also share at the other levels. So here I have a collection of 343 reference articles on this page, and I could share this page with my students and say, please select, one or two of these articles and answer some of these questions. So this gives a little more choice to the students as they go through this process of working through materials, which we know can really be motivating, particularly in the online environment where it's just a different scene in the classroom. And likewise, not only can we share a listing like that, but we can share the full topic page and make our assignment a little bit more broad, and allow more choice of students, including of the different formats. Some might want to listen to some audio clips or see some video, different ways of getting their information. So there's a lot of options here for student assignments and how we assign them, how much choice we leverage in doing those assignments. And if we don't want to share with Google Classroom or our Microsoft Cloud Classroom, we can also just get the persistent URL for any of these pages and then share them as appropriate in whatever way you want to post the URL. That works too. So this is a basic overview of GALE in Context World History. Thanks for tuning in. Please let us know, or your librarian know, if you have any questions.